Most dads over 40 accept the fact that they slow down. They've accepted the dad bod, and they've accepted extra fat on their body. They've accepted being soft. They've accepted that they're just never going to be in great shape again. So I refuse to let that happen to me. I'm exhausted. I'm a little distracted lately, and it's been a little bit more of a challenge for me to stay focused on one routine, if I'm being completely honest. I've been bouncing around. I've been doing this for 30 years. I know what exercises I need to do throughout the week. I know what body parts, and I know when to hit them. I'm very instinctual with my training. However, I work better with a structured plan. So I'm going to dive into a chest and arm workout today and talk you through why I refuse to accept the dad bod as a new way of life for me. As a 47-year-old dad of a toddler, let's go. All right, I'm gonna keep these workouts as boring as possible, because boring for me is less of a dopamine hit, and that's where I feel like I get make my most progress, and I'm most consistent when I'm just sticking to a basic plan. So I have been bouncing around a lot as far as doing full body workouts and then doing, different training splits. Just being completely open with you guys. I haven't really been super consistent with one training plan for the past 6 months. Maybe even since my son was born 18 months ago, if I'm being completely honest. I have been working out, just haven't been documenting as far as my weights go. Haven't been tracking my weight on a scale as much, and I have created a few videos explaining, where I'm at in my life, and I have a couple day one videos where I start, and then I don't stay consistent with it for multiple reasons. But most importantly is that I stay consistent, like I teach my clients. Like I know from past experiences. So anyway, chest and arms today. Just starting with some band pull-aparts to activate the upper back. I'm a little bit of a band pull-apart snob. You want to keep your arms straight. You also want to keep your wrists straight. You don't want to let this happen. You want to keep your wrists nice and strong so you get your wrist strength. You get your forearm strength on the outside of your forearm. So if you just let that band stop here, yes, you're getting a little bit of work for your upper back, but really it's upper back, also grip strength and forearm strength as well. Just starting with 15 or 20 reps here. Not only for chest workout, but just overall good posture exercise. And I'm gonna head into some hand release push-ups. All right, core exercise here, push up all the way down, pinch your shoulder blades back, press all the way through the floor, full range of motion. I'll just do maybe 15 or 20 of these, one set. Not paying attention to the noises that I hear, the snap, crackle, pop in my shoulders. There's no pain, so keep going. That's my gauge as to how much I pay attention to the noises. Is there pain? Okay, let's figure out why. No pain, keep it moving. All right, warm-up's done. Band pull-aparts, hand release push-ups. First exercise, barbell bench press. I'm gonna see how my chest feels. I'm gonna see how my shoulders feel. See if I continue with the barbell or I move into dumbbells. But that's gonna be first exercise. It is strength week, and I typically start my program with a strength phase, and then I head into a hypertrophy phase, and then I head into a conditioning phase, rotating through those rep ranges, rotating through those different exercises, different weeks, different rest periods. I found to be the most balanced and the most simple. So I'm going back to simple, basic, and if I'm being honest, every time I pick up this camera, it puts me in a different mindset, because I feel like I have to be somebody else when this camera's filming me. It's just how it is. I hate creating content for the sake of trying to get your attention. I'm going to create content and document and explain and walk you through my workouts. Maybe you'll find some insight. Maybe you'll like, maybe you'll share it. But to create content for the sole purpose of getting your attention and selling you on something makes me nauseous, and I fucking hate it. So I'm just going to document my journey and go back to Monetti before True Life, carrying a camera around with him, documenting his life, telling his story. But now I'm a dad. So there's an interesting plot twist to my program. Super fun, but that's where I'm at. So let's get into it. Barbell bench press, first exercise. All right, first set, I literally start with the bar. Shoulder width grip, thumb on the line, up. What I try to do is I try to break the bar in half, meaning nice strong grip that we just talked about with our band pull aparts from the shoulder, rotating. So you're rotating your shoulders. Hands don't move, of course they don't move because they can't, they're attached to the bar firmly. But rotate your shoulders a little bit. That's going to lift your rib cage up. Now when you pull that bar down, your elbows are facing, I don't know the exact angle, but they're facing down towards your legs. Almost like a 15-degree angle. So like we did the band pull apart, pinching your shoulder blades back. Actually like we did the hand release push up. Pinching back, and then pressing up. I like to stay 99%. I don't ever fully lock out my elbows unless I'm taking a short little pause. But while I'm keeping tension on the chest, stopping at 99 degrees, or 99% I should say. So first set, obviously the bar is very light. Just literally do a few reps just to get my head in the game here. And I'll start with 25. Goal with the first week is, the longer I live and the more I do this, I still train for strength, and I just like being strong. I like, lifting heavy weights for not only the physical aspect of it, but the muscle maintenance level, keeping my muscle, staying strong, and just, is there a little bit of ego involved? I don't know, I don't ego lift anymore, but there's something, very, very special about pushing yourself and lifting heavy weights. Yeah, but I will say that heaviness has changed throughout the years. I'm not pushing for a max weight anymore. I'm pushing to use the maximum amount of weight I can for each specific exercise, specific rep range, specific workout, but I'm not trying to hit maxes that I hit 20, 30 years ago. It just doesn't make sense for me to try to do that. It's unnecessary too. You don't have to do that in order to maintain muscle and or even build muscle. That said, I'll do 8 reps and I'll work my way into a 6 rep range. I'll do one more set here, a little bit heavier, but again, I'm hitting that 6 to 8 rep range. For me, that's heavy lately. I don't go too much lower than 6 reps anymore. It's not worth it for me. I'm trying to build muscle, maintain muscle, stay in shape, and I'm not really concerned about the weights that I use in order to get there. Your weights, your muscles don't know how much weight it is. They don't know. They know resistance. Your ego, on the other hand, knows how much weight it is, and that's what drives you sometimes too far, and you get hurt. So I'm not trying to get hurt. I'm also not trying to be a little bitch. So it's a fine line. 145. I used to start back in the day, just throw a plate on and do 8 to 10 reps, throw another plate on and do 6 to 8 reps, and then go from there. 225, 275, 315. I'm not fucking with that anymore. But I will evaluate that and say, that was not heavy. So that's 145. Let's go. That's 30 pounds. 65. Let's see where I'm at. My warm-ups take much longer than they used to. It's just my first exercise, so I'm going to take a little bit longer to warm up. And then once I get cranking, I don't need that much warming up for the rest of the workout, just on the first exercise. After that, my second and third exercise, which will be incline dumbbell press and then a decline fly to hit all angles of the chest, even though you can't isolate one specific part of the chest. You can target more tension on certain areas over other areas, but your pecs are working every time you do a bench press, every time you do an incline press, every time you do a decline, every time you do a dip, your chest is working, your whole chest is working. You can just put more tension on certain areas of the chest. I want to side note that you can't isolate certain areas of your chest, but you do want to get all angles covered. Is that my first working set? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier and I'll probably make that my first working set. So this is it's 50 is 100, 145, 155, 165, 65. This will be 195. I'll probably make that my first set of 6 to 8. And then I'll do 3, 2, 4, depending on how I'm feeling, working sets at this weight. You know, I still want to look good, I still want to feel good, but I want to run around with my kid. My kid is young right now, only 18 months. Very high energy kid. So if I don't do this stuff now, I won't be able to pick him up. Last night, I had to rock him to sleep. I still do that. He's 18 months, and I know there's some parents out there who may, give me a look or judge me for rocking him to sleep because they may think that there's a thing called self-soothing where you let the baby cry you let the baby kind of, you know, soothe himself. Me and my wife aren't about that. I can't let my kid cry and walk away and let him cry himself to sleep. So if he needs a little help at night and I rock him to sleep, I was thinking last night, like, I gotta, you know, it sounds silly, but my biceps, my back, shoulders from rocking him, like, I want to be able to do that when he's older if he needs to. Maybe not 10 or 12, we'll talk about that, but at some point he's not going to be able to, he's not going to want me to do that, and it's not going to be, you know, something that I do. So for the meantime, I want to maintain my strength for doing shit like that. Hey, that was a good set. Probably could have got 2 more, maybe 1 definitely, but maybe 2. But I started to feel my imbalances creep up, meaning I got a little bit tendonitis in my left elbow. I got a little something in my right bicep / pec delt area up here. So I get to that point where I start feeling these historically or you know, injuries that have been there for many years. I'm not going to push it, obviously, and that's where the ego kicks in. That's where the dad kicks in and being smart about your training, because if I get hurt and I can't work out, that's pushing my progress even further out, and now I'm not able to do the things that I want to do, that I was doing this to be able to do. So it doesn't make any sense. But that was a good working set. Leave 1 or 2 reps in the tank. I'm going to do 2 more sets here and then move on. Take about 45 seconds of rest. Don't need much more than that. Another way to keep your workouts intense but efficient. Keep your rest periods to 45 seconds to a minute. I'm heading into my last set, and I wanted to add, one of the things I'll do, especially during strength week, is my last set, I'll strip the weight down and do a drop set. It's a really simple way to get more out of the set, get more out of your workouts, be more efficient. I will say though that it's not for super novice lifters. It's more maybe for intermediate or advanced, intermediate and or advanced. So I'll strip the weight down, maybe take 2 of these plates off, and then I'll do maybe like a 15-20 rep burnout set. Got 7 that time. These I'll try to stay in the mid-range. Keep tension on the chest and delts. Maybe I won't get 15. Maybe I'll get 10. But that's it. Let me move on. All right, next exercise, incline dumbbell chest press. I'm gonna go a little bit steeper of an incline and stick to the 8 to 12 rep range. Say 8 to 10. Still do at least one warming up set with that. Let's see how my balance gonna feel. Same thing with the shoulders that we talked about with the bench press. Think about rotating the shoulders a little bit so that 15-degree angle or those elbows are facing down toward your legs. And keep that angle the whole time. Whoa, it's supposed to be a warm-up. Might be my first set. Wow, it's my first set. See here, the incline chest press. Oh wow, 15, 12, 10. So I kept rep ranges a little bit higher here. So that was an 8 rep set for me. Should have been a little higher, 15, 12, 10. Because I'm a sucker for volume. I love the pump. So I don't get a pump when I'm going heavy with strength training. So I like to do a little bit of both. One exercise where it's heavy, and then a few exercises that are more for the pump. And when you're asking what's the perfect rep range, all of them are, and you have to vary them. So for this particular workout, this particular program that I'm following, one of my favorite classic programs that I always go back to when I just need something basic to get me back on track, which is a great solid program. I have one exercise which I just did, chest press, 5 to 6 sets of heavier weights. And then 3 exercises, well, 2 more that are 15, 12, 10. So a little bit higher rep range, more of a pump. But I'm still trying to find the heaviest weights I can handle for that particular rep range. And that's how you can build strength through all the rep ranges. So just because it's a higher rep range doesn't mean you should be grabbing the lightest weights possible. You still want to grab the heaviest weights that you can for that particular rep range. So I grabbed right now 55s. I only got 8. My goal is 15, 12, and 10 reps. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to pick those 40s up and I'm going to do my set of 12, see how I feel. And these are weights that I haven't used in many years because I'm building my strength back up. Got my 15. Gotta build my stamina back up. It'll come back. It'll come back. I've been here before, man. I've taken 16 weeks off of training for my bicep. Came back better than ever. So, gotta keep that in mind. It will come back. I had to be patient and stay focused, stay consistent, stay disciplined. And there's a certain mental edge that you get from just doing the boring shit over and over and over and over. You get numb. You detox yourself from the dopamine hit of doing something new and something exciting, and just kind of go through the grind. The monotonous grind. You build calluses, kind of like your weight training hands here. You know, you build calluses that it's just from doing the shit, doing it over and over and over. And I've been down this road before. I'm doing this 30 plus years. And the past year and a half has been the biggest challenge for me to get into a consistent routine, because I have another person that I have to be responsible for. So sometimes it's unpredictable what he's going to do. Like last night, he just had a very unsettling night where he was up a lot. And not up, but up enough that it woke me and my wife up. So that throws my morning routine off a little bit. So you have to adapt, and adaptability through life is what I always talk about with this project. That if you're not adapting, you're not growing, and you're not, I think you won't be as successful as you can be if you learn to adapt. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier and see if I can get that 12 reps with that 50 pound dumbbells here. All right, finishing up with some decline flies. I'm pretty efficient with my training. I don't like doing unnecessary shit. So for chest, 3 main exercises. I feel like that's all you need. I'm gonna keep my reps a little bit higher here. Decline flies. Let's start with I'll start with 30s. See how I feel with 15 reps here. Seems pretty light so far. It's an exercise where you gotta be mindful of your range of motion. Shoulders can be very vulnerable. I like to get a little rotation at the top with the back half of my hand, the pinky side of my hand, rotating it inward. It's almost like a wide chest press, pressing up and then rotating in. Oh yeah. Ooh, I almost smashed my phone. All right, first set 15. I'm gonna do 2 more sets, 12 and then a 10, and then move into some arms. All right, finishing up with some arms, a little bicep curl action, and some skull crushers. I'm gonna do 4 sets, starting with 10, and then 8, and then 6, and then I'll do a heavy set of 4, and then I'll probably do a drop set. Drop the weights, do a little extra pump set. So I'll do arms at the end of my chest workout, because chest I'm only doing 3 exercises, and I feel it's a good place to put arms. I've been liking doing arms together, not like pushing exercises, doing my triceps and then pulling, doing my biceps. I like to do arms together, and I'll vary it, but this particular program has arms together, bis and tris. So it's a good little finish to the chest workout. Keeps my workout efficient because I only did 3 exercises for chest. So curls and skull crushers will be 5 total exercises for this workout. Again, it's strength week, so I don't do a ton of volume, and I don't do a ton of volume with this program in general. I don't feel like you need a ton of volume, although I'm a volume whore, where I like doing, I like to pump. I do feel like the extra wear and tear on your joints is not necessary, so go as heavy as possible for the recommended rep range. For this week, for me, it's 10, 8, 6, 4. So I'll evaluate each set. That particular weight, probably could have got a couple more, but it was a good first set for me. So now I'll head right into some skull crushers with this bar. Oh, change that angle on that camera. Oh, this hurts my elbow. Shit. Fuck. Oh man, I don't want to do it. Fuck. Elbow. Damn. Let me try some dumbbells here. Less pain, less weight. So switching gears, do some dumbbell skull crushers, a little bit less weight, take some tension off the elbows. Some interesting people walking around Somerville, man. Very interesting people. All right, let's go a little bit heavier for the curls. A little bit. Let's go 8 reps. talked about it earlier with having some aches and pains. I'm not going to push it through. It doesn't make any sense. Even if I'm younger, even if I was younger, my younger self, don't push through the injury. It's not worth it. Give yourself some time. Change up the exercise. And there's a 99.9% chance that you can find, or 99% of the time I'll say that you can find a different exercise and get the same job done. Maybe a little bit different, but I just changed up from dumbbells, using the barbell or the easy curl, to dumbbells. I took that elbow pain away, went a little bit lighter, and I adjusted on the fly. One of the things, as a 47-year-old veteran of this game, is not to push. If I feel a little bit of pain, there's a difference. You got to figure out what that pain threshold is. I know the difference between a bad pain and a good pain. And if it's an injury, like when I rehabbed my bicep, there was some pain involved, but I knew that it wasn't a debilitating pain that was going to cause more harm. It was an uncomfortable pain that pushed me through and got me stronger, or at least, gave me some sensation that I was heading in the right direction. That pain in my elbow just now, tendonitis, I don't want to push through that. It doesn't make any sense. So change up the exercise, keep it moving, keep the muscles trained, and stay in the game for the long haul. That's the game. That's the name of the game for me. A little bit heavier for 6. These curls here. Move that camera up so you can see biceps in action here. Good weight. My triceps, I'm going to go a little bit heavier as well. Alright, final note, you don't need a new plan, you need more consistency. Believe in yourself, trust the process, practice patience, take pride in your reps, and I'll see you on the gym floor. If you're a dad making a comeback, drop me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and follow along. Peace.